Hey, what's up? Hey guys, how are you? Hope you are great. I hope you are having a great day. Thanks for being in this video and seeing the series of videos I have been posting. I'm really happy about it, and I'm really humble that you're liking it a lot. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're liking these kind of videos, so you can have a little more overview of the other videos I'll be posting in the future. And the thing or the item that we're gonna be talking about right now is basically the main DJ dictionary terms that we use or we manage in the music industry. I think it's a real helpful way for you guys to understand a lot of the terms we use and what are their differences, so you can establish a really good conversation with some music artists that you may know, or if you're just beginning, you will see that it's useful just to differentiate where you are playing or why that specific item does it means, and what are the specifics that surrounds that specific term now or its meaning basically. So yeah, let's start the video. Let's go. Okay guys, so just to give you a quick heads up, and in order to don't forget any of the versions and the terms I'll be talking about, I really did my homework. I really did a little list so we can just start talking about this. And basically the number one, just getting started with this, the number one term that we DJs use when we create a new single or we just publish a new song is basically the original mix. What's the original mix? You may be having that doubt right now. Basically, the original mix is the version of the song that it's the original song that is gonna be published and all the people in the world are gonna be hearing from us. But that's the original song that the artist of the discography, or how do you call the record label? Yes, I forget that name a lot in English, so sorry. Already approved, and it's basically up to be known as the original song basically. The term number two, that it's an extension of this, and as I am saying, basically it's the extended mix. That's the second term. So what's the difference between original mix and extended mix? The difference is to realize that the extended mix, as the name says, is a mix that is extended, and this kind of term is really used on techno songs or on techno projects. Why is that? Because basically the original mix intends to basically be a little shorter on the transition wise, mostly at the beginning of the song and at the end of the song. And this is basically because I'm just talking about the techno specifically. On techno, the transitions sometimes are really long, and it's really nice to have that extended mix just to be really cautious and have a really good transition that it's a little bit longer, but you're gonna have to be playing with it, and you're able to mitigate any error in the long term and be a successful and doing a really cool and clean transition, unperceptible to the ear of the audience. So basically, just this was an example, but that's the thing of the extended mix. The third term basically that also segregates from the original mix is the club mix. So the club mix, basically what it's intended to be, a similar version of the club mix, but with tiny tweaks or tiny changes from the original mix. These changes are basically intended for at the time that we play that song in the club, the audience hears some part of the song or some characteristics from the song or from the original mix song a little bit more. Now, for example, there are a lot of DJs that basically do that. They turn up the volume in the project of some specific parts that are gonna be a little more punchy and are gonna be providing a high level impact on the audience. So that's the difference on the club mix on this. The other one, or the fourth one, I will say that it's the VIP mix. This one is used. I haven't seen it a lot. It's more like a pay decision or like a pay version of the mix that just like really hardcore fans obtain or get, and a lot of times the artist doesn't really publishes these kind of mixes. But the difference between the VIP mix is really similar from the club mix. Basically, the VIP mix intends to deliver or to provide a new, like, different version from the original mix, but with also slight changes. But yeah, there are only those ones that are pay for it, or the VIP subscribers are gonna be getting, so sometimes it's really nice, sometimes they have a lot of changes, sometimes they have minimal changes, sometimes I'll say they are really imperceptible to the ear, but yeah, it exists. That term also exists, and it's basically that. And just a quick thing here, most of the time the VIP mix is released 1 month later the previous original mix was released, so just to keep that in mind as well. The next term, or the 5th term that we have basically, is the radio edit term, or the radio mix edit. So the radio edit, basically, it's a shorter version of the original mix. And why is that? Basically, on the radio stations or the radio programs, usually there's a radio locutor that is delivering or leading a program, right? So the versions of the mixes or of the songs has to be a little more dynamic and shorter, so the radio locutor has the ability to just enter and start like talking around, like, hey, this song is from this artist in common, is the hit of the moment, blah blah, let's listen to it. And it has to be a little more shorter and dynamic from the original mix, just to keep up with the pace of the radio station or the radio program. And well, this is not really strict to have, but the difference on the radio edit from the original mix is basically that one. It's a little shorter version. So that leads me to the 6th term, and I think here we're gonna have a little bit of controversy, because with this term there's a lot of controversy. Well, with the 4 next terms there's a lot of controversy and a lot of doubts of what are the differences. So I'll be addressing those doubts just to fulfill all those questions, and just to leave the more clarified answer as possible. So the 6th term is basically the remix. The remix, basically, where it's different from other terms such as the bootleg and mashup, is basically that the remix, it's an official remix or another official different version from another independent artist that doesn't has to be or doesn't has a relationship with the original version or the original mix. And the remix, basically, it's the official and validated or approved version by the artist's record label or author of the original mix. And we have the next term. It's really controversial. There are not really, it's not really common, but I think it's really nice to you have this info as well. So in order, if you hear this term one day, you know what it means. And basically is the flip. The flip is basically a remix of the remix, And why is that? Because basically it had happened in the past in the music industry that basically there are remixes that are a lot much better than the original version, right? And those remixes are like remixed by other artists, because that first remix is really good, right? So when they tell you, oh, that's a flip, it's basically that it's a remix of another remix, right? Okay, so now we're gonna be entering with the 8th term, and basically that's the bootleg. So the bootleg, as you already know, as colloquial terms, is like the pirate or the wooden leg of the pirate, that basically that's what it means. Basically the difference between the remix and the bootleg is that the bootleg, it's another kind of remix or another remix, but that doesn't count with the proper approval from the original artist, author, or record label of that original or from the original mix or the original song. So that's the difference between remix and bootleg. The remix counts with the proper approvals, and the bootleg bootleg doesn't count with the proper approvals. Basically, that's the difference on this. Passing on with the ninth term, we have mashup. So the mashup, as you will know, and I really try to write it down here as clear as possible, and it's basically an arrangement that provides, or that it could be say it's like a collage of a lot of songs, right? So the mashup is when you are trying to mix two or more songs. I'll say max 5, max 5 in one specific song, and it's really good. Mashup is the mashups are really good, and they're really cool mashups. And if you are a DJ or like a producer, I really recommend you start doing your own mashups. One, it's really fun, and the second one is gonna be giving you a little more characteristic type of view to your audience. Now this means that basically you're gonna be able to start getting along with your own proper like type of music or type of production anytime. We can talk about that in another video. More specifically, I can show you how does a mashup is done and how you guys can have fun with it, because it's really fun to do it, and there are a lot of mixes or mashups that I have done that are really powerful to the audience, and to me that are real fun to do and to just listen and to mix as well. The 10th term that we're gonna be addressing is the rework, and right now in this consecutive next 2 terms there's a lot of controversy as well between rework and remake. So the rework, or the difference from remake, is that the rework, basically the original author of the original mix or that specific original song that we're just listening to, is basically reworking or doing a remix of their own proper original mix or of their own song. So that's basically it, that the main author, it's basically modifying and changing the original version to a new version that he might like, no? Maybe a quick update of a really old song he might have, no? I don't know. But well, basically that's what it means basically. And the remake, it can be done basically by whoever wants. However, the remake is, the main difference is that specific original mix or that specific song is done from scratch, from zero, with their own with their own gear. For example, if I take a song from AC/DC, right, or if I take a whatever song that I know the guitar, for example, was done with a Fender guitar, right? Or I just have an Epiphone guitar, no? So the characteristic sound of the Fender guitar is gonna sound really different from the one that I'm gonna be recording and playing with the Epiphone guitar, right? So that's basically what it means. The remake is basically doing the proper song once more or from scratch, but with their own instruments, with their own synthesizer, and with their own gear. And last but not least, we have basically the version that it's called cover. So a lot of you guys and a lot of people that you know already know this type of version, the cover version, and it's basically, or how I can describe the version, it's basically a reinterpretation from other artists, right? There are acoustic versions as well. I think they're the most popular ones, but also you can be doing basically taking the original mix, leaving aside the original the original singer voice, and you can just play and sing along with that, like all the instrumental, right? So that's basically a cover as well. That's also a cover. So guys, thank you very much. I really enjoy you guys having you here in this video. Please, if you have any doubt, any comment, or if you want me to do a specific video of a specific item or related item you want to discuss or see how is it done, please don't forget to leave me that in the comments. I really like addressing all your doubts and also speaking and interacting with you. And well, if you're liking this series of videos, don't forget also to like, subscribe, and follow me on all my YouTube channel, and well, in all my social medias as well, so we can interact in the other social medias as well. And last but not least, please don't forget to hear to my music in all music platforms. I really encourage you to do that, and I hope you like it. So well, happy you're here. Thank you very much, and well, see you next time. What's up?